Dead Rising is back from the dead, and I'm really happy. Yeah, there are problems like this. And it's censored. But it's still one of the funniest games I've ever played. The original was innovative, fun, and had an enormous amount of zombies on screen for the time it came out. And after almost 20 years it's still
fantastic!
But now the question is, should you play the original or this deluxe remaster? Let's explore together if it's worth it or not. Let's go! Hello brothers, WallyT here. This is going to be an art video because I love this game as I loved the first one almost 20 years ago. But I understand all the drama, because censorship always sucks shit. So let's start with the biggest issue. Is it woke? Well, it's not woke, it's just censored. In the original, you could get erotica points by taking sexy shots to gain experience, and I don't think removing that is really a big deal, since it was a very secondary feature. But you could argue that instead of wasting time removing a feature, they could have used that time to polish the fucking game. So it's not a big deal, they probably just wanted to make Frank less of a perv, which I can understand. What's worse is censoring the game because they want to sell it in China, so they had to remove some dialogue about Vietnam and communism. I mean, it's a mature game, developers need to realize that censoring useless stuff is just gonna harm their sales. Are they fucking stupid? Also, the game wasn't just made by Capcom, but was outsourced to Neobars Entertainment, a Chinese studio. Neobars has worked on several Capcom titles in the past, such as Resident Evil Resistance, Mega Man Battle Network, etc. Given that, it's not surprising that some of the content got censored. So censorship always sucks, and made some of the fights with the psychopaths less interesting, but it's not a huge deal breaker for me, because the game is still fantastic. And most importantly, it's still really fun. But let's focus on the gameplay now, and holy shit, is still
fantastic!
Going back to Willamette Mall after nearly 20 years is awesome, and what surprised me the most is that it's still so fresh. Yeah, the core gameplay remains the same, and it's still just as fun.
Come on! 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 Come on!
Exploring the mall, killing zombies with silly weapons, escorting survivors and fighting psychopaths never gets old.
I don't allow vandalism in my store!
I finished the main story in around 10 hours and now I'm playing the Infinity mod, and it's still not boring. The replayability is really high and I can see myself continuing for another 20 hours and more. The quality of life stuff like speeding up the time, AI of the survivor and autosaves make the game feel easier, but it also makes the game way less stressful. The fact that you can finally escort the survivors without the risk of them being stuck on the fucking geometry is good. But maybe it's now too easy. Now I can just run to the other side of the mall and I never risked to lose a survivor. They've also introduced favorite items for survivors, but even if you don't give them anything, it's still pretty hard for them to die. I almost never used this feature because it didn't feel necessary. Most of the boss fights are fun, but way too easy, you can just run into them with a katana and kill them in seconds. The game only gets harder when the SWAT teams show up. They can stunlock you into the oblivion. Which is really annoying. It's still not super hard, but they should tweak it because it gets frustrating. There are still loading screens between areas of the mall, but honestly, I think that's a good thing. Removing them will totally mess with the core feel of the game. What I didn't quite like is the blood effects. Slashing zombies and not seeing blood on Frank's body just doesn't make sense. It feels like they forgot to include this feature. The leveling system also feels off, it gets better later in the game, but early on I found myself jumping from level 3 to 8 to 15 in matter of seconds. It's just confusing. Other things I loved is being able to change your outfit in the locker room, the durability bar for weapons, and how the role is now much more useful. The survivors are now voiced, which is a nice touch, even if sometimes they say things that really don't make sense. For example, one survivor that just lost their boyfriend starts saying random stuff right after.
Hey, I found something that's sure to go viral on social media!
Talking about the voice acting, I really liked Frank West. I still love the old voice actor, but this new one does a good job too.
I've covered wars, you know.
However, Brad and some other character sounds really bad.
Almost as if everyone's already dead?
And what's even worse is the audio in general. It seems like it's mixed wrong. The iconic mall music is almost non-existent, and there is barely any ambient sound. I hope they fix this, because it's really annoying. The story is fun, with different endings and interesting characters. It's better than you would expect from an over-the-top silly game. And after you finish it, you unlock the Infinity mod. Infinity mod is much better now, since you can save your progress so you don't have to play for 12 hours straight. You can stop and continue later, but of course if you die, or if the game fucking crashes, it's over. Also, the zombies now drops food and you can speed up time. This mod is great, trying to survive for 7 days is way more fun, and I can't wait to keep playing. But let's talk about a big problem now. The performance is totally random, sometimes it's perfect, sometimes start crashing, the audio during cutscenes fucks up,
What was that noise?
and the frame rate goes down and then speed up. This game seriously needs a patch, especially if you play the Infinity mod, and if it crashes you will swear against every fucking saint. During the main story it's okay thanks to the autosave, because I had a lot of crashes in one area, and having to start over if you didn't save would have been crazy. On Steam Deck the game runs fairly well, around 30 to 45 FPS, with most settings on medium and FSR set to performance. It's nice, and it's such a great game to play on the deck. So in the end I've loved every single moment of this game. Yeah, it's censored, but who cares? The game is pure fun, and that's all I want from a Dead Rising. And yeah, Dead Rising is fucking back from the dead. I just hope this game sells well, so we can get the remaster of the second game. Even with the censorship, this is a game made with love and respect for the original version. For me, Dead Rising is a timeless classic, so if you never played the game, maybe it's the right time to jump in. Is it better than the original? Well, I'm not sure. Right now the game has some problems, but like with Resident Evil 4 Remake, it's hard to tell. Some people will always prefer the original, while others will prefer the new one with all the quality of life improvements. For me, this remaster is totally worth it, and one of my favorite games of this year. And that's all guys, hope you liked this video. As always, if you wanna subscribe, you're always welcome. Until next time, take care, brothers.